Oh, Buddy the dog. What are you thinking, pal? Yeah. We had a pretty rough night with storms, and we should probably do a more detailed look than I did this morning, just to make sure that there's not a lot more stuff that needs attention. But there is one thing we got to deal with pretty well right away, and we will get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. I would venture to guess that we had about 1.5 inches of rain, plus high winds and tornadoes. Luckily, I think I took a screenshot of it when it was happening. It seemed like most of our stuff, or at least where I am, like it didn't hit me. It was like right over top. And the northern part of the county, they even had a tornado that destroyed a house or something. So that ain't no good. But I see out here that there is a problem that we need to deal with. And I'm slow and didn't get much done today yet already. But yeah, one of the sobriety checkpoint trees has self-destructed, and sadly enough, it's on the fence. So I'm hoping I can pick that up by hand and get that off of there, and I'll drag it away later. We also have to fix wheel bearings on the John Deere loader tractor. I meant to do that the other day and never had time, but we got to do that because yeah, we need that thing every day. Also, I would say because of like this right here, I really need to go around the whole fence again and make sure that there's not something bad, because I can almost guarantee you that there probably is. Here you're going to be able to see the strategy of why I build the fences like I do. And I've usually put 2 springs, like a spring on each end, and ratchet in the middle. This one actually I think is just spring on one end and ratchet in the middle. But you see how it has obviously the tree is laying on it, and it's taking, the spring takes up the slack so that hopefully it doesn't destroy your fence. Geez, that is bigger than I can just plop off of there. I was hoping that it was rotten enough that I could make that happen, but it is not. So I guess loader tractor it is. It might hopefully do it one more time, the bearings, but we got to do that or they're going to be out, and that ain't no good. So sure, I want to redo this anyway, and I might even be motivated to go get the supplies today, because I want to get this done very, very soon, so that when cousins come to bring hay, I can let them in. What I want to do is I want to put gates in this so that we can go this way and take it back, because I have a whole hay area back there, and then instead of me sitting there all day running back and forth, we can unload right there where they are. And then like now, I don't have my hay field cut. I'd rather they not drive on it, you know, till I get that done. But I'm thinking, like, if a guy would just put a gate on that pole and double gates here, that a truck or something, like if I got 40 foot of gates, surely that would be a wide enough opening that a guy could turn a truck in here, wouldn't you think? Let's see here. 15, 18, 19, 20, and then we'll go 3, 9, 15, 18, 19, 20. Now the gates aren't exactly, what I'm trying to say is gates aren't exactly the full width all the time, but give or take, we would be right here, you know, let's say maybe 4 to 5 feet from that fence post. So that's a pretty wide opening. I would think that if you were coming down the driveway, you could hit this at an angle and get in there with a semi or whatever, and that is a good thing. And the other reason I have this in my brain why I want to do this is because if I ever get around, I keep talking about it, never get it done, but it needs to get done at some point, is like if I want to get shipping containers to try to build one of those hoop things, then that guy's going to need to get through here, and it'd be a lot easier to take them out this way and back into where I want them instead of trying to wiggle through buildings and stuff and unload. So we're just going to go ahead and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I think, on this affair, and you know, have this ready as a choice. But what that means is that I have to take all of these, which I guess isn't that big a deal. It's just going to be cutting this here and then shortening these wires when we get to the thing, the new post. But what I'll have to do is make sure that the cows aren't in here, because cows are curious and they will want to be here the whole time we're doing that, and that won't work. So if I have all the supplies, I can get it done in the same, you know, couple hours, I hope, because it's just going to be a matter of drilling 3 holes, setting that thing, hanging a couple gates, and then this is no problem. You know, we'll get it close to where it needs to be. I don't think I'll ratchet it up, because that would be way too much. I think I'll just unspool that, figure out where we're going to be in here, and then you know what I'm saying. Well, if the gate was going to be here, then that actually means we're going to be about right here is where the wires are going to stop, because I'll do like I did over there, 3 posts and that. So instead of cutting them right flush, you know, I'll probably cut them there and wind that up in the thing and make it happen, whatever, and that'll be that. I don't know. It's just stuff that you think about that would make things handier. And that side over there is not really handy, and everybody complains about it all the time, but I purposely built it that way because that rod off of the electric line comes down there, and I'm afraid that if I moved that post any closer there and people already want to hit it, I would rather they hit that post instead of also hooking that line and ripping it down. So I purposely left a buffer strip so that that's inconvenient and you hit that post if you aren't paying attention, so that you don't have a sadness problem, you know. What else? Well, we really need to get rid of this fertilizer spreader as well, because it's kind of in our way, and I don't want it here to be responsible for it in case a tree falls on it or something, you know. So I might run that back after a while. I'm just trying to think of what order to do stuff in. I've had a weird day, and I haven't gotten started yet. Somebody came over early this morning, and so we ended up talking for 2 hours, so that, I don't know. And then I worked on a YouTube video, editing type thing, you know, to get caught up on that. And then here we are, you know, ate lunch, mess around, and now it's the afternoon. So anyway, yeah, I'll probably get rid of this after a while at some point, but they don't have to be there when I do that. So I'm trying to decide, like, if we hook up to the trailer, I guess we would go get the lumber I need first, because that place is going to be closing in a few hours. So if I would get, I want to get posts for that, and I want to get posts for that other pin we were working on back there that I ran out of supplies for, so we could finish that pin back there too, because that's another thing on my list of things that's inconvenient and I want to get done. And then for this, I got to go buy 2 brand new gates. I already looked, and the Boomgar store's got the ones I want, but there's $600 right there. You know, that's crazy that it costs so much money to do absolutely everything at all. But yeah, oh goodness, boy, it did rain a lot in a short order last night, because there's stuff washed where, yeah. Also, trash. Where did this come from? I don't recall having foam. That could have blown in from anywhere, I guess. Anyway, what I came over here for was, I think my hub is here, ready to go. This is another, I guess this is the one I got from the junkyard. That's should be good to go. I just need to knock out the old races. I already drilled it for a grease fitting. I guess the old seal is in there too. So that ain't gonna be no big thing, but we got to do that because the wheel bearing's about out of it on the tractor, and the other hub is wore out. If you recall, over years of use, it ate away like a good portion of this, and there's no surface anymore that you can keep a seal in it. So that's why I hunted up different hubs, and I think I ended up with one correct one from the junkyard, but then I had to order the other ones, you know, or the other one more, and I put that one on right away when I got it. So yeah, I did look, and I have all the bearings and everything. I've had it this whole time, but I told myself I wasn't gonna take it off and do that until the bearings needed attention, you know, to get the most out of what I got. It's probably also time to put a couple more hay bales out. So there's that. Let me think about this. The one, it's that one over there. Yeah, that one's the one that's crap, and it's squeaking, so I know it's about time. All right, friend, you haven't run in a few days. Fire's right up. That's the sound of thousands of dollars, you know? When you spend thousands of dollars, they'll fire right up. Let's see if I can do this without getting off of the seat. Check and make sure that the cows are still here and they didn't find another place and get out. But we'll do that after a while. And the fence should spring back up. We're gonna have to put it back in the insulators. to put a little more hydraulic fluid in this. It's acting goofy. Usually when it acts goofy, it's because it's getting low. Well, goodbye, sobriety checkpoint tree. I almost cut that I don't know how many times, and I didn't because it did provide a little shade and they like to stand there for some reason. So anyway, they still got one. I think we're just gonna dump this over here and I'll come back for it later. Maybe after I get my gates, you know. If I put it here, I don't know. That's probably got some good pieces in it to saw up for some firewood. So I'll take it over to the sawing up area. Whilst we're at it, we'll go get another one over here that's been in my way. All right. I'm putting a lot of faith in a bearing that I know is going to go out any time, but let's just drive down here to look down at the fence and make sure that there's not a major catastrophe. Because if there is, then that changes my plans and I have to deal with that now. We can drive over here to the fence and try to take a look at our bean field. Hopefully that rain last night did it some good, where maybe some of the ones, you know, there was probably a few seeds in the ground that weren't doing anything because they didn't have any moisture. So hopefully that'll fill that out. It's probably hard to see from this angle, you know, how they look. You got to really look down the rows to see how nice they are, but I don't know, I'd say they're about 1.5 to 2 inches tall. Pretty good stand, I think. Like I said, there might be a few little places. Not really, though. There's one place from here over there that looks like maybe it's not, like it's kind of bare, but that may be an illusion too from the angle that we're looking at it. I guess we should probably fly the drone over it, right? Then we could really see what we got. We might do that after a while. Boy, that wind has caused a lot of destruction on dead trees. We should probably just, some of that stuff's rotten. We should probably make a pile and recycle it, you know. We also need to get our little sprayer hooked up and take the 500 out and start spraying these fences, because it's going to get out of hand if we don't do it soon. because the neighbor's no man's land there that he leaves between this and the fence it grows up with weeds really bad. So I want to get some of the ones that are right next to the fence. I think it looks clear, so we're just gonna not worry about that right now. Ah, Buddy the dog, you're watching with great anticipation at what nonsense will happen next, you know. I think we'll go ahead and get rid of this spreader because I don't want it here. I'm done with it, and I would hate, like I said, for something bad to happen to it. Now look at that old spider web there. Sorry, spider. I'm sure you worked real hard to make that, but we don't operate like that here. You're out of luck. It's amazing that they do that in just like 24 hours. Another sad story we'll have to do is we're probably going to have to replace these at some point. They've got some pretty dramatic sins on them. And I want to say, yeah, see, okay, this one, they want to go down, and normally the trick is you just replace the valve core. I'm trying to look and see if I did it on one of them. No, but this is so bad, I'm afraid that as soon as I touch it, something terrible is going to happen. I might be wrong. Maybe we'll try that here in a minute. Maybe we'll try to swap them out for new ones and then air it up better. But there's one of them's got a pretty aggressive cut in it. I don't know. I know we're just moving you, but should we check a little bit more than necessary? But I added some the other day, and I probably added too much. It probably didn't need any, and I was paranoid and thought that it did. It's amazing that those batteries have sort of come around, but I'm sure if I don't use it for 4 or 5 days, they probably won't, but I don't know. All right. Sleep. All right. We got so much stuff to work on, and yet it seems like, I don't know. But there's just so much stuff that needs done. But what I was getting at is, I got a pile of cultivator sweeps up against that tree that's in the way. So we need to incorporate that into our stuff to do. And I got another pile of cultivator sweeps that guy gave me, who we bought that 3-bottom plow from. So we need to look over our 2 things here and see which ones need to be swapped out. This one I put all new ones on when I bought it. I think these are 10-inch Ultra Wings is what they're called. And there is one that will need replaced because it's the one that was on that shank that disappeared. But I used it yesterday. It's only got one leg left on it, but this is still, they still look pretty good on this one. So this may not be the thing. I mean, it's not time to do it yet, so we might just stack those away. But the other ones that guy gave us, we can use them probably on that 226 field cultivator, because there's definitely some on there that need attention. The guys who owned it first told me that too, and it's hard to believe, but I want to say they said the ones behind the tire wear out faster than the others. And that's weird in a way. Like on this one, it doesn't seem like it does that, or it's not a noticeable amount, because these have all been on here exactly the same amount of time and whatever. The only thing I could think of is maybe because they're smaller, maybe their heat treating on those shovels is different. Maybe, but why would only the ones that are in the wheel track that wear out faster? Is it because the wheel compacts it and then the ground is harder for those to slice through? And then, I don't know, that's a puzzlement. But it sure enough proves out to be true, because that one's got several that are just paper thin, and we're gonna have to, we'll use up what we got on hand first, is what I'm saying, and then I'll order whatever else. But that guy the other day gave me a whole pile of them. I think will work for that. And then these I would think will work for that Landau whenever it's time. Dad brought those. I don't know where exactly they came from, but we need to get some of those, well, these have got them with it. I'm going to get some of these for that field cultivator, because I did it on the Landau when I put those new shovels on. But I want to get some of these shank savers, you see. These little poly things that go, you know what I'm saying? Boy, some of these aren't very good, are they? I think they'd work. I mean, they'll definitely clean up and go again, but those are gigantic. So those would probably be, I would say those would probably be more likely to go on the Landau. Maybe I don't even want to use them for anything and just put them away somewhere. Yeah, that's a sad story too. That's a power takeoff shield for a 2-cylinder John Deere that would have came from my great grandpa, who had one. And I could have cleaned that up probably and used it on that G, but I didn't. I bought a different one, you know. But that one's pretty rusty, so whatever. I don't remember when. That's been a long time ago. I didn't feel good one day, and Dad came and brought all that stuff and dumped it in front of that tree, and I said that's fine. So we just got to pick it up and put it away, though. Yeah. Do we have, what do we have on the back? We still have the hitch. That's good. So that's good. All right, before we go, my ADD brain has to do something. I can't not do it. We unhook that spreader. We're done with it. I'm gonna put this shield back on so that it doesn't get bent up, because that is a pretty immaculate one, quite honestly. See, if you were going to take the shield or the PTO shaft out, change speeds or whatever, then you would pull that thing right out of there. That's how you would do it. But I'm not going to do that thing. Come on. Got on our... This was kind of disappointing that I had to take this off to be able to use that. It's kind of frustrating. You shouldn't have to take shields off to make it safer. We got the spreader hooked up. We're rolling. We're gonna go get rid of it, and then we're gonna come back and work on John Deere wheel bearings. Fun times indeed, friends, but it needs to be done, and then that chore is done. And so I'm trying to think in my brain different things that I might need, and I don't know what I did with that bearing packer. We just had it not too long ago, and we were doing something with it, packing bearings, obviously. And I don't remember when that was, or what we did. I don't even remember what we used it on, you know? So we'll have to figure that out. It's no big deal. We can pack them manual style, but I was thinking it was sitting full of grease and I had just filled it up. And I bet we used it on the flatbed trailer was the last time we used it. So it either got put away where it belongs or it didn't. And if it didn't, that will be the problem to figure out where it is. But I almost want to say that it's in the livestock trailer, actually. Because I thought we were going to maybe do some more bearings and we never did. But I don't know. We'll figure that out. I guess we'll continue our crop tour since we're on the way. I'll just pull over and get out and we'll look at it. The county actually came through and mowed the ditches the other day, so that's kind of... I'm amazed that happened. Oh man, look, you can see that the wind pushed it a little bit here at the edge where it wasn't shielded by trees, but that's not too darn bad, really. It's all coming up good except for the places we didn't plant any, you know, where it was muddy. It's even coming up in the questionable wettish spot there, but good deal. I wanted to get my last beans planted so that when they came to spray, they could spray everything. So I'm hoping maybe we could do it tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe we'll take the 1755 and that pull type smaller field cultivator and go check it out there, and if we have to run over it with that once, we could do that, I'd say pretty quick. I mean, because it wouldn't take much to just drop it in the ground a little bit just to break the crust and then go. But we should probably, and it's gonna, we'll wait till tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's gonna rain anymore tonight, but, and I don't know that it's gonna rain any Saturday, so we could do it Saturday probably, but Sunday it's supposed to rain, so we really wanna, and I don't like to put it in the ground. Like, it's a good thing, I guess, and if you wanna say in the hindsight, that we didn't plant yesterday, even though we had all those problems. If I had planted before a huge pounding rain like that, it probably wouldn't come up very good, because the clay seals it in, friends. And if you got the ground worked too fine, which I don't think that I necessarily did over there, but if you do, it can crust over so hard that you've cost yourself part of your yield because it won't come up. So maybe it was better to just not do the thing. Somebody even mowed that. Oh, the stories I could tell you about somebody who lived there. Oh gee. Anyway, I will bring you back when we get to doing something exciting. Well, our plans might change a little bit. It's starting to rain. I thought it was pretty well done, but whatever. We will adapt and find something to do because we got plenty of stuff to do. No worries about that. All right. We've been riding the struggle bus again because every few seconds it decides to rain. So we're going to soldier on and get this done. It's not as bad as I thought it was, but ooh, you can hear it kind of gritty. Well, because it's got no seal basically on the backside, so it's just been letting in, you know, sadness the whole time. Well, that one doesn't want to come out of there. Now the phone's ringing. Wonder what nonsense that will be. You're just gonna have to keep ringing, phone, because I ain't answering you. Okay. Let's see what we can accomplish. That's a brand new rim and a brand new tire at the time. I think this is still the one from when I bought the rim. The other side's the one that we've replaced like 3 times because we keep running over stuff. So yeah. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was, but today's the day, friends. We're gonna put it the way it's supposed to be because it's not like it's supposed to be, and it won't hold the, if you recall, it also won't hold a dust cap because that's wore out. Look at that. Hey, it had grease in it. Just because it's got grease in it doesn't mean that's all it takes. Oh boy, we should probably clean that a little bit before we get all grimy for no reason. So let's go find some of the magician's helper and just hose that down. And then we can go. We need to, at some point, we need to work on these spindles, you see. You see how that's not quite right there? However, the problem is I don't have time. Or the stuff to do it, you know. Because I have a feeling what we're going to find when we do that, we're going to find out that it has ruined the surface that the bearing rides on up in there. And then it's going to be a next impossible task to find a new knee, because this is different, because it's taller, because this is a high crop like. So it's going to be a struggle. Magician's helper, break clean. I wonder if this is the one. That's another reason why this stuff needs to be replaced, like all of that, because there was one time when I was a kid that the wheel fell off while on the road whilst I was doing something with hogs down there, and it laid on the road all night, like in the ditch halfway, because this was on the, I remember this skidding across the asphalt. I don't remember which side it was, but anyway, it's probably not the best anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now we got another benefit of stuff that's happening. And after the rain, it feels like there's a bunch of little mosquitoes out, you know, to make our life better. Because why not? Why not have that too to deal with?
I got a lot of quit in me, folks. I just don't, I'm just not motivated to do nothing, you know? Just not motivated. Come on, red pliers. You can do anything. So why don't you get this out of here? Doesn't seem to want to participate. It's because one of them's rolled over part way and not the correct way. Come on, baby. Come on. Ooh, greasy. I wonder, well, no, I don't think that's it. I was gonna say, I wonder if maybe the reason it fell is the nut slipped on the threads and let it go. But I don't think so. I would say it's more likely that trash getting in the surface that has no seal is probably why. But that's the way it's been for like 30 years. Yep. See, look at that back one. Dry as a bone. Because why? Well, for one, probably didn't get greased. Number B, because there's no way to keep trash out of there. There's no seal. I mean, so anytime you go through mud or whatever, it ends up on the it ends up washing into this bearing. Yeah, look at that. The only thing that was holding that together was imagination. So that's toast. There was my sad attempt at a seal, trying to get, and I think I put, yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that we put something behind there, which we will probably have to, I'll probably have to remove that now, right? All this stuff that we added. I don't remember what it was or how we made it. Piece of rubber, 2 heavy washers. We got to clean that up real good though, because there's no way that a seal would seal upon that anymore, and it probably won't anymore anyway. Interesting. Let me get, I think the drill with the wire wheel's right over here, so I'll go grab that. All right. I thought I would test. That sealing surface is still pretty solid, so this is going to do better than, this will be better than what we had, definitely. This, I wish it was slightly tighter, but that's still also pretty good for what it is, because it's about wore out, you know. So now we'll come up here to our work area, and we will see if we can extricate the pieces that we need, or get rid of the pieces we don't need, I should say, so we can put in the new stuff. It's actually, it's not very ergonomically area to work because I got spikes sticking in my gut. Do we want to do, let's see if we can get the, this one's good, it's got cutouts. Some of them don't have, and that's really inconvenient when they don't. Come out? Nope, not yet. Almost. Whoa, that feels solid. Oh, I know why. I know why. Because it's hitting the, it's flush and it's in the bucket. So now I need to go over here. That out of there. I don't know why I didn't clean this up before. I guess because I thought the grease would protect it. Wonder what just fell off the tractor. I heard something go ding-a-ling. Ding-a-ling. All right, how are we going? I don't know. How are we? Should be coming out of there. Get out of there. What did we get? We got the seal. We got an old bearing. The race is coming. It's just not there yet. Come on, you. Oh, hey. Come on. There. All right. Now what we need to do is clean all that old crap out of there. This is actually an original hub that came from the salvage yard. It still has the T part number. John Deere sometimes used part numbers that were like T25 something T or whatever. And that's what this has. Anyway, we should do a side-by-side comparison so you can see. Maybe that's not a good enough side-by-side comparison on the GoPro, but can you see how you really can't on the GoPro? I would say that there is a good 1/4 inch of this one missing. It's just enough that you just don't have the area there to hold the seal. And what is here is really paper thin. It's wore to where it's a bigger diameter. See, there you can see the difference in the amount of thickness. So that's why we're doing this. And hopefully our lives will be better than ever as soon as we complete this task. Are you recording? I have no idea. Once again, we're riding the struggle bus, you know. I thought I would lube up this area to make sure that we don't wreck our seal immediately. I mean, I hope that that seal is really hitting the sealing surface. It probably, well, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like maybe we got there, question mark. I don't really know. I don't know how far. I almost feel like I could put 2 seals on there, but yeah. We'll try it this way. It definitely, yeah, I think it's going on there a little, because I think it's going up till about there and then pulling that grease back. We'll see. All we can do is screw it up. It's bound to be better than what we had, simply because it actually has, you know, stuff and things. I also like how whenever I do this, I get absolutely covered with everything. I'm trying to get this, make sure that this has grease in it, rolled in it, not just, you can't just smear grease on top. You have to roll all the little barrels so that the grease ends up inside. And then we're going to also, this, I drilled and tapped this for a grease fitting, so it's going to get grease pumped in it until we can't stand it anymore, you know. When we can't stand it anymore, then we know we're going to have her good. I know we had this washer on there. So we should probably put that back. And then we got our nut. Also, we did not, well, I do have sockets over there. We can tighten them, but I have the red pliers. Red pliers ought to be good enough to make this happen. Well, I said that, but it's going so far in there, it might have to be a socket. This is the bigger of the red pliers. There we go. I kind of feel like that's probably good. Now we need to find a better cotter pin because we kind of destroyed this one, taking it out of there. I got some on the back of the pickup, so let me go grab that. Well, friends, we might have to reuse. I found one, but I think it's too short, isn't it? Also, I think my theory about the deal backing off, that could have some merit to it, because it looks like we're pretty well, no, that would hold it. I mean, that would hold it or it would have to break. So I'm willing to give it a try. Using tools inappropriately. That's what we do. All right. Is that going to stay? It feels like it. Good. That may be slightly tight, but don't worry. It will wear. Some of that is seal drag and everything else. We're going to pump it till we see some. And then we'll put the cap on and we'll pump it some more. Ooh, we want it to go in. Go in. Oh, is it going to make me go get more grease? I can't believe we'd used I just put some in the other day. I don't remember what else we greased, but oh. Well, we might be out. Huh, well, okay. All right, well, we need to go get more. We need to get more stuff. We need to get more grease. All right. The crowning achievement here will be if we actually have a hub that will hold a dust cap, because I was not able to get the other ones to do that anymore. And I think we got the winner. We just got to get the hammer. It would be nice if this would be nice if we had a big socket or something that would fit over this. But instead we'll just hammer it home. You know, plus we got the bonus of my bucket being in the way. I think we're doing pretty good. All right, that's on there. I got it full of grease. It's kind of stiff now. It's probably totally full. So that's fine. It'll work out what it doesn't need. We'll put the tire back on and hopefully we'll have some success. The tie rod's on this side, so we'll do the other side here in a second. And then we can say that we've actually given this thing some attention. Wouldn't that be neat? Oh, come on. Well, figure out how to. All right, come on. Let's get some. Can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, you like looking at the top of the tire, don't you? That's where you were. Not able to see a thing. Hopefully all of these bolt holes are good. I mean, it is a junkyard hub, so I thought I'd use my bolts because that would give us the best chance, right? All right, good deal. Loose wheel. You should be fixed. Now, whilst we're at it, let's give the rest of the front end some love. I gotta remember where all the grease fittings are. I think the one for the fork points that way. We got 2 pivots, and then the other front wheel hub, and the other tie rods on that side. Should we start with easy to get to? Oop, doesn't want to take very good, does it? Oop, there we go. Coming out the weep hole. There she goes. Okay, that one's got some in it. Now, off camera, you can't see. Ooh. That one, is it coming out? It's coming out the top. That's good. Okay. Now, pivot pin. I don't remember. They may not have a grease fitting, actually, as I think about it. Because John Deere things, that's why. I don't think there is, friends. I don't think there is. I think it has replaceable bushings, and so they didn't do that on there. Let's find our grease fitting for this wheel, and let's give it a good greasing. I'm sure it's on the bottom, or the hardest to get to thing. Why wouldn't it be? Probably won't even fit in there with this grease thing. Alright. We're going to call that good. Probably a little much. Alright, let's put you down on your wheel again. I can't do this with one hand. Alright, friends. I think we'll call this one here. We did accomplish something today, at least. We got our bearing fixed. We got our tree off the fence. So, I guess that's something. We didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but, you know, when it rains every few minutes, that kind of takes the motivation away, you know. But, like I said, we got good progress on this, and I need this every day, so that's very important. We got rid of that fertilizer spreader, so that's out of our lives, you know. Just little things like that need to be done, and you know what I'm saying. Next project on deck, if it's too wet to plant, which I think it probably still will be tomorrow, but that's going to be 1655 diesel. I want to get that wrapped up. I want that back together, running. We've got a good day's work yet on it by the time we change all the fluids in it and finish it up and that kind of thing. So I did some progress off camera on it the other day. I just started plugging away at it and didn't have the camera, and don't care because I want to get stuff done. So anyway, we'll pick it up wherever I got it now, and we'll just keep going and get that done. And then we got plenty of our own to do, but we can't. We got to immediately start in on the next one, which will be that 1650 hydraulic pump. We'll do that. I've got 2 service calls to make. One back on that 1800 with the putting on a distributor and trying to get it running better for him. And then also I have a 1650 with a bad steering line that somebody called about, and we need to go out there and take that off and get the stuff ordered for him and get that done. So, you know, that won't be, well, I hate to say, I don't want to say that that's not going to be a trouble, but it's going to be a time-consuming thing probably if they don't have it partially disassembled already. I don't know if they do or not. I mean, it's fine. It's just that you've seen, like in the 1655, how far you got to go. You got to take all the sheet metal off. You got to take the fuel tank out and then get in there to it, and hopefully we can make that happen, you know. So it'll be fine, friends. It'll be fine. We'll get caught up. But I was really disappointed I didn't get my beans planted yesterday, because then I could be, you know, not worried about that again. And I really want to be not worried about that. But there's nothing I can do, you know. It's the weather I have no control over. So another thing I can do rainy day, if not, is I need to go get I probably need to get about 10 more bags of seed or so. The planter is almost full, but I would rather have extra and not need them than need them and not have them, if that makes sense. So we get that, we should be good to go there. And then, like I said, if we get rid of these projects at other people's, 550 diesel, we need to get rid of that one. That's been here for way too many years. I'd like to just slap it together however it is and tell him to come get it and say, there you go. And he can do the rest on his own, because it got into a rabbit hole of sadness, and that he doesn't need to pay me to do stuff that he can do himself. So that would be that. Then we've got that sad sack, which I really don't want to do, but I guess I am because it's here. And then maybe when that's done, we can work on some of our own stuff. Oh, there's a case back there we need to work on too. So we'll get that done. Got to go get the starter for that BD Cleatrack. Maybe we can try to revival it. And then we need to do our last little touches to the Landau so that it's sitting here ready to go and not broke down. And then the 9650, we got some homework to do on. We need to go on Marketplace. I've already been on there and looked, and I think I can find some cheap tires to put as duals. Some that preferably have better sidewalls than this, because that's so pathetic. I mean, that's just weird, you know. It was like they get so old and then that's it. That's the same year they self-destruct within just a few days of each other. So definitely they have a service life, I guess. But that is neither here nor there. As always, friends, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.